So one of the things that I think is interesting about what you're doing, John, is you've got 17 virtual assistants working for you all at the same time, all doing different projects. How do you keep them all communicating with one another? Do you have any softwares or tips so that, because like you said, you really want to find specialists in different areas, but as someone who's new to this, it's kind of scary because how do I keep them all doing the same thing and working in harmony? How do you execute on that?
So I have a couple things. Number one, I don't manage them all, but I manage a lot of them. And that's because I use Snagit, which is, it's software called Snagit. It's screen capture, screen recording software made by the makers of Camtasia Studio. It sits open on your desktop. Anytime you want to record something, you just drag it out on your computer. It is going to record your screen, so your mouse, your browser window, whatever it is, your software on the computer, whatever you do on the computer, and your voice, it's going to record it. And so I use this every single day, multiple times a day. I'll just open it up and talk. Like, hey, I love what you did here, but let's move this thing over here and let's do this also. Or, hey, look what these guys did with their website and I really like this and let's do it like this. Or, hey, look how this thing's functioning. Like it's not functioning right. So I'll just open it up and record. Or I'll take a screenshot and put an arrow on the image. Like Snagit lets you do all this stuff. When Snagit came out, it 5x'd my ability to handle people, right? Because it's just so fast to get your point across. So that was like my communication with them was I use Snagit, and that's a big deal. Having them communicate with each other. So we use Basecamp, and for project management, that's been a really big deal too. Like I can create a task or they can create a task and include each other in it. And when something goes in, whoever's involved in that task gets notified. And so they're all commenting and I get to see what everyone's thinking and doing. And I get to comment and say like, oh God, great job. Or, hey, let's change this. And someone else will be like, hey, will you please do this or whatever, right? Beyond that, like they created their own Slack, my team. So this is a ways down the road for most people. Like most people, you have one person or you have two people and it's very simple, right? After a few years of doing this, then my team wanted to communicate with each other and they were like, hey, can we like create a Slack channel or something that we can communicate with each other on? I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. Sure. So they did, and they do. And like, there's regular communication on Slack between them. And for a long time I was like, oh, I want to know. And now I'm like, I don't even want to know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. I heard you on Entrepreneurs on Fire and you're like, I was away from my business for 6 weeks and I came back and everything was better than it was before. And I was like, that's an aha moment, right?
Right. And that was a big aha, like, oh dude, these people are way better than I thought they could be.
Yeah.
Like not only did they run the things that I was previously doing, and I taught them. Like it wasn't like, oh, I pull someone off the street and they're running my business, right? But dude, a lot of people think that like, oh, I want someone who can build me a business.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how this works, right?
I kind of think of it as you as the business owner, you develop the systems and you find people to execute on those systems, right?
Yeah. And that's probably that's the biggest revelation for me in this whole thing was before I hired someone full-time, long-term, I had hired people. And if they didn't, I hire them hourly, right? And if they do their tasks, then sweet, great. Like I got tasks done.
Yeah.
But when they're not busy, I don't really care because I'm not paying them.
Yeah.
Right. The big revelation for me was, oh, I hired you full-time salaried. And now when you finish your task, I thought this was going to take you 3 days and it took you 4 hours. Now I have to step away from the garbage that I'm doing in my business, like answering stupid emails. And I have to create a system to work. Like I have to work on my business.
Yeah.
Instead of just working in my business all the time. And that came with hiring a full-time salaried virtual assistant, where now all of a sudden I had to be the CEO. And most people never make that transition from being a grunt worker in your business. Like, oh, I got to tweak WordPress like this. Like, no, dude, stop tweaking WordPress and find someone that can do that for you, or teach your current virtual assistant to do WordPress for you, because WordPress isn't that hard to learn. And now you're the CEO rather than being the grunt worker. So today, again, this is a long time into the process, I don't touch anything ever. Like I'm a programmer. I graduated from College of Computer Science. I did programming. I haven't done programming in probably 6 or 7 years now. I never made a post on Facebook. I hate social media. I don't log into our email autoresponder thingy.
Just sipping
Yeah.
margaritas on the beach, basically, right?
Well, yeah. Like, I work, right? I work
Yeah.
about 17 hours a week, a couple hours a day. But all I do is just look at work people have done and give feedback and give instructions. And then I think like through processes, and I'm like, oh, hey, here's how you're going to do this thing.
Yeah. Well, I think if you walk away from this with any sort of knowledge, walk away knowing that you've got to find ways to work on your business instead of in your business, because it's so easy to get caught up in answering the emails and these little simple, stupid tasks that just eat away your day. And you're like, what did I actually do? What did I actually accomplish? I could have been actually building and scaling, because now is the time. Now is the time. There are the resources there for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode. I've got several other episodes right here for you. Smash one of these videos to make sure that you don't miss out on the tips, tools, and tactics of industry experts. Let's take that side hustle full time. Smash one of these links.